Welcome to this week's episode of Becoming More Me, the podcast for high achieving entrepreneurs and professionals who want to be more and do less. This is the podcast to bridge the gap between all of that conditioning, that hustle and strive mentality, overachievers, perfectionism, all of that, to the other side of that bridge, where we can use a grounded, clear, and centered nervous system. We can use pleasure as fuel. We can slow down as a means to speed up, and we can actually accomplish more by doing less. I'm your host, Theresa Levine. I'm an EFT master practitioner, hypnotherapist, international best-selling author, and mom of 4 boys. And today we are talking about an interesting thing that seems to happen this time of year. Getting ready to head into fall, into autumn, okay? Coming out of summer, this expansive, playful time of year. And what I see happen often this time of year is an increase in self-sabotage. Why does this spike in the fall? Why do we feel the pressure of unfinished goals, the pull of procrastination, and that creeping worry that maybe this won't be our year after all? Maybe we're not going to manifest or physically bring into reality those resolutions, those goals, those things that we had such conviction and belief we were going to make ours this year just a number of months ago. More importantly, what can we do about it? I've got some powerful insights and practical shifts that you can use right away in this episode today. And I'm also going to share how you can join me in my upcoming Autumn Alignment Workshop, a free workshop where we will go even deeper on all of this together. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's talk about how to end self-sabotage so that you can step into health, wealth, and abundance this season. It all starts now. You know, fall is such an interesting time of year. Summer, like I mentioned, is this expansive, kind of playful, scattered season. Routines loosen, energy bounces all over the place. But then as September hits, the air changes. Literally, figuratively, the light shifts, the days begin to get a little shorter. For many, the school year begins, and our brains and our bodies start craving a certain kind of structure again. And I'm a mom of 4 boys, so we are in the getting back to the school groove right now, and there's a definite shift with that. But you don't have to have kids or be in school yourself to feel that shift. It's been conditioned in if you went to school as a kid yourself. And psychologists call this a temporal landmark, this natural reset point, like New Year's, like birthdays. Our fall conditioning and programming creates the sense that it's time to start fresh. But here's the flip side. It's also the final quarter of the year for those of us who are now in jobs or working in our own businesses. So most of us aren't starting a new school year anymore. We're entering Q4. We're entering a continuation of the already progressing year. The last chapter of the story we promised ourselves we'd write in January, as far as the calendar year is concerned. And for so many people, that realization feels heavy. We may even crave that new school year blank notebook feeling that we used to get as we gathered fresh school supplies, notebooks, pens, highlighters, all those goodies, and just felt that possibility ahead of us. And instead, we find ourselves thinking, I said this was going to be my year, and now it's almost over. That combination, craving focus, but feeling the pressure of time, is the perfect storm for self-sabotage. Especially if, like me, you've got ADHD or an entrepreneurial brain that loves big ideas, but sometimes resists follow through, or simply the time to integrate or complete things. Okay. So I remember for me a few years back, a lot of things were happening at once. It kind of, when I'm thinking about this, I'm like, it just feels like collision, like things coming from every side. I had a launch planned for my business, Becoming More Me, and it felt like the stakes were sky high. And I know that that was self-imposed stress. My kids were starting school again, which meant juggling new routines, schedules for extracurricular activities and sports, and the emotional ups and downs that come with transitions. And having, neurodivergent kids, also with ADHD too, and just trying to manage all of that, right? So on the surface, and this is like a smidgen of like the whole of what was going on. Um, on the surface, though, like I looked busy and productive, but inside, I could feel that spiral, that feeling, almost like I was describing, kind of like a collision happening and everything kind of swirling. I would sit down to work on things for my launch, and instead of doing the things that actually moved things ahead, I'd find myself like tweaking tiny details that had already been created, rewriting emails, or just scrolling instead of getting that traction to take a step forward and make things happen, right? My nervous system was on overload. And my body, like I could feel the anxiety in my body, like a tightness in my jaw. My sleep was off. And I was telling myself, not necessarily like out loud or in the ways that I was meditating or trying to consciously direct myself, but subconsciously, I can recognize the story that was going on, which was one of, oh, you need more discipline, just push harder. Because I've been used to that for so long. But the harder I pushed, the less I actually completed, got done, achieved. And that was the season and the launch when I realized that I wasn't lazy. Because I could hear that internal voice for a while too, that was like, why aren't you doing it? You know what you need to do. Just do it. Like, don't be lazy about it. Don't waste your precious time. But it wasn't a lack of willpower. It was this sabotage that was like rooted in my nervous system and subconscious. My body was literally trying to protect me from the pressure that I kept piling on. When I started working with EFT tapping and hypnotherapy and nourishing my nervous system, I noticed the difference immediately. And those things were in my toolbox already. But sometimes we get into that hustly achievement mode and we forget our resources. Has that ever happened to you? So when we become resourced again and we kind of return to ourself and this understanding of what truly makes change for us, I was able to shift out of that panic mode that I was operating from, calm that buzzing energy, and just take simple, aligned action without all the layered on drama. And the best part is that once I stopped spinning in that sabotage, the launch actually went great, went really smooth. My family didn't feel the brunt of my stress as much. And I felt my presence return to that place that I love it to be. And you recognize that place when you become accustomed to getting present again. And I know a lot of people don't even understand what it's like to feel present. But in a lot of work that I did earlier, I started to recognize that feeling and that traction that I get in presence. And now returning to it feels really, really good. But I also find myself avoiding it. It happens. It happens to all of us. We don't just get present and stay present forever. Okay? So let's break this down a little bit based on this. I'm sure that all of you have lived through times when you kind of felt that swirling and spinning, that collision kind of feeling. There's just so much going on. I can think of so many times in my life when it has happened. That was just the example that was on the top of my head. But like, why do we self-sabotage? Why does this happen? Let's break this down a little bit, because like I mentioned, self-sabotage is not laziness. It is not lack of discipline. Trying to make yourself do more in a certain, way is not going to break through it. Okay? It's not that you're broken. Okay? It's your nervous system running an old safety pattern. Okay? When things feel overwhelming, when things feel risky, your brain prioritizes safety over success. That is why you procrastinate, overthink, freeze. Your body thinks it's protecting you. I love going deeper into all of this when I work one-on-one with my clients in hypnotherapy. It's a great place to really dissect the intention and the purpose of these different roles that we have, the different parts. So layer in your subconscious mind, which runs about, like 95% of your daily actions, and then you can really see the challenge. If your subconscious believes success is unsafe, if it believes it's overwhelming, it's going to override your conscious goals every time. And then there's the body. As Bessel van der Kolk says, the body keeps the score. It's a great book and a really true saying. Stress and past experiences don't just disappear. They live in your muscles, your breath, your posture, and until you release them somatically, sabotage keeps showing up. This is why we don't mindset work our way out of self-sabotage and a dysregulated nervous system. It doesn't work. We can understand why we do things. We can understand how those things can get fixed, but that is not the same as doing the work, okay? And that's why the solution isn't just more willpower. It's about nervous system feeling nourished and safe. It's about subconscious reprogramming, and it's about somatic integration, okay? With that in mind, you might be wondering, okay, Theresa, I hear you about nervous system patterns, and I hear about these things all the time, but what does it actually mean to shift out of them? Like, if I knew how to do that, I'd have done it already, right? What does it look like in real life? Let me paint a picture of that for you, okay? When you're stuck in an old pattern, it often shows up as procrastination, perfectionism, avoidance. Maybe you sit down to write an email and suddenly you're scrolling instead, or you get overwhelmed by your to-do list and instead of doing one thing, you do no thing. And that's your nervous system hitting the brakes. Now, here's what it looks like when you've shifted, okay? In that scenario, you catch the freeze or the overwhelm. Maybe take a regulating breath, maybe use some EFT tapping, tap through a round or two. These things that actually help your body to settle. And as you process things that way, maybe within 10 minutes, that email is written. Or you're able to pick that one small thing from your list, calmly complete it, and then suddenly you've got momentum instead of collapse. Okay? Sounds trivial and small, but it is literally how we get ourselves in motion, how we start taking action. And the way it feels is night and day different. Instead of a racing heart, your breath slows. Instead of that buzzing tension in your chest and your jaw, you feel grounded. Almost like your feet are rooted into the floor, the ground, the earth. Instead of spiraling into shame or what ifs, you hear yourself say, I know my next step. Like, no worries, I've got this, it's in here. That's the difference. Getting your nervous system out of old patterns doesn't mean you'll never feel stress again. It means stress no longer hijacks your entire day. It means you have the tools to come back to calm, clarity, and choice quickly. And from that place, aligned action feels natural and doable. And that's what we'll be practicing together in the workshop that I have coming up later in September. So you can actually feel the shift in your own body. Okay. And for anybody who's like, yes, I need to feel that shift, go ahead to theresalearlevine.org/workshop, and you will be able to sign up for free for the autumn alignment workshop. Save your seat. It's coming up in September. It is going to be on September the 19th. It's a Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Again, absolutely free and full of actionable resources that will shift you in the moment. And speaking about shifts, I want to give you a simple shift in this episode that you can try right now. This comes from what I call the shift framework, and it is a 5-step process to move from sabotage to alignment and action. I'm going to teach the full version of this in the autumn alignment workshop, but I want to give you a little mini practice from it that you can try today. So we're going to take a little overview of the first 2 letters in shift, the S and the H, and pull through something that you can actually use from that. We're going to go a lot deeper into the S and the H, as well as the I, F, and T when we are in the workshop on the 19th, but this is going to be a great start. So the S in the shift framework stands for spot the pattern. So whatever your pattern is for self-sabotage, next time you catch yourself, be it procrastinating, spinning, overthinking, whatever the thing is, I want you to pause. Notice, pause. And what I want you to notice as you pause is, where do I feel this in my body? Is it in your chest? Is it in your jaw? Is it in your shoulders? Is it in your gut? Is it in your head? Is it in your hips? Where is it? Name it. That's the first step. The H in shift stands for harness the body. Okay? So once you've spotted it, take one deep breath. And you can, I liked this point on the chest, it's known as the collarbone point, but it's really kind of like that sore spot on your chest. And you can do one side, both sides, whatever feels right. Or if you prefer a different tapping point, you can use the karate chop point on the side of your hand and tap that. Whatever point you like, but just kind of create a little micro tapping phrase, okay? And it could be something like, even though I feel this pressure, I choose to come back into my body. I am safe to pause. Okay, that's it. Just those 2 steps can shift you from stress into clarity in under a minute. So again, spot the pattern. Notice what the thing is that you're doing. Notice where you're feeling it. Take note. Then H, harness the body. Take that one deep breath. Choose a tapping point that feels relevant and good to you, and speak to it. And if you know what that spot is in your body, you can personalize it. It's like, even though I feel this pressure in my gut, I choose to come back into my body fully. I'm safe to pause. Imagine what would change if you practiced that every time sabotage showed up. Try it. Don't discount it. I can tell some of you are like, whatever, I can't imagine it'll work. Do it multiple times, not just once. Practice it, okay? Now, that little shift felt good, right? So I want you to just imagine what's possible once you have the full process, the full detailed process that I'm going to give you live on September 19th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a full 60-minute workshop, and it's called Autumn Alignment, 5 Shifts to End Self-Sabotage and Step into Health, Wealth, and Abundance. And we will explore the full shift framework together, and you'll experience it through EFT tapping, hypnotic visualization, and other ways that we're going to anchor that in live on the workshop. So we're going to be taking action together, and you will walk away calmer, clearer, and with a daily ritual that you can use to finish this year strong. And for those of you who want to go even deeper, there is going to be a fall abundance reset that you can sign up for also when you sign up for the workshop. And that is going to include full regressive hypnotherapy, personalized EFT for you and your patterns, and an opportunity to really step into your abundance into Q4 and beyond. It's not for everybody, but if you felt something shift, even just from listening today, it may be exactly the next step that you're looking for. Here is the takeaway that I want you to remember from what we've gone over today. Self-sabotage isn't who you are. It is just a pattern, and patterns can be shifted. They can be relearned. They can be rewired. And you have everything you need inside of you to finish this year aligned, abundant, and proud of yourself. If you'd like to join me for the Autumn Alignment Workshop, head over to theresalearlevine.org/workshop, grab your free seat, and I'll be really excited to see you there live on the 19th. Until next time, remember, you're not broken, you're patterned, and you have the power to shift. I know you have so many choices when it comes to the podcasts that you listen to, and I appreciate you choosing Becoming More Me. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for spending some of your precious time with me today. If you loved this episode, please leave a review or simply share it with someone else who would get great benefit from it too. If you share on social media, please tag me so I can personally connect and thank you. Until next time, keep taking bold and brave steps towards becoming more of who you want to be in this world. You are capable, you are worthy, and you are enough. And if your inner critic is still trying to argue with those facts, hit me up. We've got work to do.